Hello. Today we'll be talking about the sine, cosine, and tangent functions. Okay. So previously we learned with the Pythagorean theorem, if you have a right triangle and you already know two sides out of the right triangle, you can use the a squared plus b squared equals c squared to find the third side. But now we have a case where we know one of the angles, and of course we know the right angle, and we know one side. But now the question is, can we figure out another side length from just these pieces of information? And luckily, these three functions make it possible. So there's three main formulas we're going to be working with, and pretty much any geometry class, you'll need to just memorize these. There's an easy sound device I'll show you later, but for now, here they are. So sine of theta. So remember, I'll be using theta as a variable. All this is in this case is just a variable, and it's just a variable for an angle. So in this case, the angle is 35, so we'll say theta is 35. It's the same thing as saying, like, calling this side x, or anything like that. So like in this case, like in the same way that like the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, you use those stand-ins. The theta is just a stand-in for this case. Okay, so sine of theta, or sine of the angle, which in this case is 35, is equal to the length of the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. And now remember, which one of these sides is the hypotenuse? It is the longest side that is opposite of the right angle. So it's always going to be the one directly across the right angle, and it'll always be the longest side, okay? Which in this case is the unknown we're looking for. So that's sine. So sine of the angle is equal to the opposite side length divided by the hypotenuse side length, okay? Now the next one, cosine of theta equals the adjacent side length divided by the hypotenuse length. Okay, simple enough. And finally, tangent of theta equals the opposite side length divided by the adjacent side length. Okay. So these right here, most important part. Eventually you'll need to remember these, memorize them somehow. The way I always learned it, I always just found this super easy, is the sound device SOHCAHTOA. So, SOHCAHTOA. Alright, so sine, cosine, tangent, and then the O is opposite, A is adjacent, and H is hypotenuse. Okay, so remember that all of these, it's a function equals a fraction. So the first letter is the function, so sine, cosine, tangent, and then it is the top and bottom, top and bottom, top and bottom. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, that's the way I remember SOHCAHTOA. Simple enough. Okay, so now let's do an example. Let's do this one. So we'll forget about x. I was using that to explain something earlier. We got 4, we've got the angle 35, and we've got this. Okay, so perhaps I should first explain how we could figure out which one is which. So we know that there's 3 different types of sides from these formulas. We got opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. So with this angle right here, all of these are relative to this angle. Okay, so in this case, this 35, there's three sides. There you got this one, and this one. Okay, we already said that this one is the hypotenuse because it's the longest and it is the one opposite of the 90-degree angle. Okay, so now we're down to this one and this one. So now it's pretty simple. The one that the angle is touching that is not the hypotenuse is the adjacent. So this side right here is the adjacent. And this one right here is the opposite. Simple enough. The opposite is always just the one that the angle is furthest from. So simple enough. So using this information now, we know that we have the adjacent side. We're looking for the hypotenuse, which I'll just write that. We're looking for the hypotenuse, and we have this angle. So we've got the adjacent, we're looking for the hypotenuse, and we've got this angle. Which one of these formulas do you think we'll use? It's going to be the cosine function, because we have the adjacent, the hypotenuse is the unknown, and we have the angle. So now there's only one unknown, meaning we can plug this all in and figure out the value of the hypotenuse. So we'll do just that. So cosine of 35 equals the adjacent side length, so 4 over, we'll call this x. Ignore that x for now because that was just something else. Okay, cosine 35 equals 4 divided by x. Okay. So now we'll just use some algebra to figure this out. The unknown is on the bottom here, so what we need to do is to get this on the other side. We'll multiply it. So multiply both sides by x. These will cancel, and then now we got this. Now I've got like this. We'll divide this cosine over to the other side because this is currently being multiplied. And we end up with this. X equals 4 divided by cosine of 35. Okay, so now we'll just solve this on the calculator. And if you've never done this on the calculator, the first thing you need to make sure of is to make sure your calculator is in degrees, not radians. So on a TI-30 like I've got here, which is what most people will be using in a geometry class, we'll use this button right here. It'll give you 3 options, and you're going to go to degrees, just click enter. And then now we'll just go, we got 4 divided by cosine 35, so we'll do exactly that. 4 divided by cosine 35, that gives us 4.883. So that is our answer. That is the length of this side length, or the hypotenuse. So we'll just do 4.88. There's our answer. Okay, so that's how you do that. We'll move on to some example problems now. Okay, now we'll do some examples. So on this first one, let's see. Try to figure out which of the 3 equations we're going to use. Now, try to do it off memory. If you can't, it's okay. Rewind the video and go back to where I had them written out. But try to remember that sound device to derive those formulas yourself and then see which one to use. Okay, so this one, we look here, you got the angle right here. This is the hypotenuse. And so x is going to be the opposite side. So if it's opposite and hypotenuse, that means we're going to be using sine. So it's going to be sine of 53 equals x divided by 7. Some pretty easy algebra. Just multiply 7 to the other side. So now we got x equals 7 sine 53. Now do that on your calculator and you should get 5.59. There you go. All right, try number 2. And again, ways work. Just try to pause the video, trying to figure it out on your own. If you can't get it, check your answer, and we'll see. Okay, so now this one, we got this angle right here. This one's the hypotenuse because it's opposite of the 90-degree angle, and this one is the one it's touching. So this is going to be the adjacent and the hypotenuse. So the formula we're going to use is cosine 48 equals, it's going to be x divided by 6. Okay, again, it's a pretty easy algebra. I won't write it out this time, but you just multiply 6 to the other side. So that'll be x equals 6 cosine 48. Let's see what we get on the calculator. 6 cosine 48. 4.01. There you go. Okay, now for the final problem. So now we got x right here, 7 right here, and the angle right here. This right here is going to be the hypotenuse because it's opposite of 90. This is going to be the opposite, and this is going to be the adjacent. So if we got opposite and adjacent, which formula we're going to use? That's right, tangent. So tangent of 42 equals opposite over adjacent. So x over 7, multiply 7 to the other side. X equals 7 tangent 42. All right, do it on the calculator. 7 tangent 42. That's right. Yep. Yeah. 6.30. All right. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, I have more resources on the YouTube page and on my website. I also offer one-on-one tutoring. I'd love to have you, but have a great day and thanks for watching.